Not new to this shit anymore.
Boom. So we're back. Another episode of the Make It Mastermind podcast. Big friend of the show, Manny.
Hey,
welcome back.
Yes, I'm back. What is it, third time?
Third time. This might be the fastest hat trick ever, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got a lot to say, haven't I, guys? I'm a busy
and a lot's happened as well.
Yeah, God.
Where do we kick off?
I know, we were just talking about when I first came, and I remember watching it back and how nervous and like talking about things and moving it all like that, watching it back, thinking, what were I doing? I got the content what I needed to do, but I went out like a bit anxious back then and a bit nervous because it was all pretty new talking about life experience. Yeah, it was very raw. I'm kind of used to it now a little bit, you know. I'm kind of. You know, I'm grounded a little bit more.
I was going to say, don't say you've calmed down.
No.
You didn't calm down one bit.
I know, we've just been downstairs talking, haven't we? That's crazy.
When you were giving him a coffee, I was like, slip him a fucking decaf.
I do that with my partner Steve. He loves his coffee, and I'll give him a decaf sometimes because I just think, do you want a coffee? I'm like, I'm alright, mate.
It's like a reverse spike, reverse spike. Oh shit, we've gone off topic already. Boom, straight in.
Okay.
So what you been doing, man?
Oh God, right. So yeah, I mean, from first time I came in, and then I came in right poorly, didn't I? I said everything. If anyone wants to watch what I was talking about, and what was it back in March? When I came in, something like that, wasn't it?
March, May, something like that.
And then I said everything that we're going to do about Hollywood stars.
Yeah. I was going to put that to
hello, sorry.
Good to go now.
Hollywood stars, been busy. I have... the steps I've got amazing because we started that, just get fit for mental wellness. We are now, and we've got groups all over the country, and we've got 100 people turned up last week. Today, you know, it's just crazy amount of people there, from children to adults to teenagers to families, everything just turning up, from suicide, from all different issues, people who just want to meet just different people, you know, a different positive vibe about it, which definitely you guys have been.
We've been and verified that it is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and you've got, it's a totally different, and I always say it's different, innit, you know. I always got, it looks good, but then when you come, it's another.
The steps are way bigger.
And it's another feeling as well. That feeling of that community, what you get in there, and that feel of it, innit? It's, I mean, and
easy
after
to connect with people. That's
definitely, yeah. But you've got 100 people there, which you would never see in the same room together. All from children, from all backgrounds, from any, and all there just having a coffee and having a sandwich, all connecting with each other and talking happy things because of what's just gone on. You know, they may be suffering from something, or, you know, not feeling great from something else. But then at the end of it, it's just that connection, and it's just everyone's just so like positive because they've done something positive with the Sunday, and you know that's why I created it. We're all, that's, you know, in the making, and it's been proved now from when it first originally started. From now, we're looking back, it's nearly like, it's not far off a year, but in the snow, and there's just me and a couple of others in snow like that, and I'm thinking, God, we've got it all to come again. That now we've got no excuses, but I was doing it back then at 6 a.m. with Luke Amberler, because I mean, Luke originally, it was him who were doing it with a lad, I think, just to get fit, you know. He was doing it with his mate.
Did he tell us that story on the podcast?
Yeah, just to get fit. And then I went in Manchester doing my thing, and I was like, oh, I'll get over. And then he was doing it to get fit, and I was like doing it there, and we were doing elite, and then did a couple of times, and I thought, this is going to be awesome it's got to be awesome. I'll invite some other friends, but Luke always going too early. He wanted early for his schedule, and like, right, I'm going to do one at 6, I'm going to do one at 8 for the people who, for this, and then create something there, and it created there, and it was originally from men's suicide, and then it all just happened where you got 135, you know, people affected by one suicide, you know, these families in domestic relationships, or these children who've been left, or, you know, all of these different kind of elements brought together, and these people started coming, and then, you know, everyone just got on because they were there for the same reason, just to improve the mental health, just improve the lifestyle, just to feel good. But I see it as you've got two choices. You don't want to be happy, or you do. And if you want to fight or not be fight, and these people want to do it and they want to fight, and these people, that's where they're coming. Then people who are not ready, maybe some people are just not ready, which is fine. They have to go a little bit further down to get, like, do you know what, rock bottom maybe, which, you know, I've been there a million times. I get it. But there's them people who don't have to really go there and then just come. And I mean, there was a woman who came, and this is why I do it. Forget the movie stars, forget anything else famous, forget any of that, right? This is exactly why I do it. There was a woman, and I got a phone call, and this was 2 weeks ago, of a woman. I got a message off Facebook saying, "Hello, can I have your number?" And I was like, right, yeah. She went, there's a woman who she tried jumping in front of a car last week, tried committing suicide, and I know I've seen your stuff. Can I put her in connection with you? She was at a hospital. I managed to get her number. I went, of course you can, yeah. And this, I give her a message, and then she called me, and she was very timid. Around 50 years old, she tried taking her life, suffered from anxiety and depression, and got heavily bullied, you know. And I said, as she came to the steps, she could ask if she would bring a friend. I went, of course you can. Anyway, she came, that's the biggest step, is just coming, you know. I mean, once you do that, and I could see how nervous she was. She was very she was crying, and she was really nervous because there was people around, and she wasn't used to that, and out of her comfort zone, her anxiety kicked in. Remember, this is a person who tried killing herself the week before, the Sunday before. So it was a big step for her. But I kind of knew what I was, you know, I knew what was going to happen, and I knew, you know, it was, you know, pressure on me, but I knew what was going to happen. And I said to her, and I spoke to her, and I said calmly, you know, I couldn't really approach her that because she was a bit, you know, standoffish. So I explained, look, I've been there, I understand how you're feeling, but trust me, you're gonna feel completely different after this. Do you trust me? Not really, she said, but yeah, she doesn't know me, does she? Right, okay. So anyway, so we were doing the steps, and anyway, and I could see, and I kept going down, you know what I'm like, running up them steps and putting positive things into people and showing them they can do it. And I could see every flight of steps she kept changing her, like, her attitude and everything else. And then it come to like the fourth stop, and I thought, and they were like, I do a big race, and where for the people who can do it a little bit more, I get them up there, and she'd only just managed to get up to the fourth step with a friend. Now I said, right, everybody come up there and let these just wait there, and they'll use. And this woman who tried taking her life, the timid woman, she put her hand up. She went, "Can I come and run with you?" And I was like, yeah, of course you can, yeah. And then got her there, and then she did it, and she went first. So this woman who was timid, who tried taking her life, she turned into a lion at the end of it. She was like so positive and so happy, and cried with happy tears because she'd never had that in such a long time, and felt like she belonged, and she'd just achieved something. And I cried. You know, it's like you've seen someone who tried taking their life and didn't want to be here and didn't feel like she belonged, and now she's a part of a group, and she's just done these 500 steps, and she feels amazing and confidence, and she's coming every week now, and it's like, you know, like, that's why we do it. That's why I do it. No matter what, anything that I do, if I could do them steps 24/7 every day, I would do them. Do you know? Because that's that feeling. You can't buy that feeling. You can't meet anybody. You can't do anything to get that feeling or that self-satisfaction. And maybe that's, you know, selfish of me because I love it. Do you know what I mean? That's my thing. And like, if you've never experienced, try helping someone a day. Try doing something like that yourself, and you'll get it. If you've never experienced it, you know, it's just like, that's why I do, and it drives me every single day to do them Sundays, or to do them Thursday groups, or whatever what we do, or just even getting them messages what my day routine, what I do, when getting somebody goes, you don't even know they're watching you, and goes, I don't know what I'd do without you, you know, like you give me a kick up arse to just have, you know, to do this when I think life's a little bit bad. I just look at you and I just think, you know what, I did the suicide video. I had a 13-year-old a teenager just saying, every time I feel down I just watch your stories. You know, I made sure that they were all right, and, you know, spoke about the parents and put some relevant helpline numbers there. But just to get that, you know, just you're getting all different kinds of people, just thinking, you know, when it gets a little bit tough, you can make them smile. You know, I'm a bit of an idiot as well as fitness freak or whatever else, but I don't take life too serious, you know. And I think I'm just myself. I'm just the best version I can be of myself, or I try to be, and that's all we can be, right? Yeah. So, right, well, let's get on with it. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, a week. day, and it's so I'm going to be doing a story. I'm going to be telling a little bit about my life, because I did one about suicide for National Suicide Prevention Day, which, you know, it was difficult. It's difficult for me to go into that world because I'm not in that world anymore. But I can look at them and think, oh my God, you know, I felt sorry for me. I cried at me because I saw that boy in so much pain. I knew what you know. So I even after it, I know how powerful it was. I know it's not being biased, but that was one of the videos where I got so much feedback off so many people, and that again, just doing one of them videos and just helping one person. You say it's one person, but it's, you know, so many people just. It's job done, innit? It's job done by, you know, a bit of reality there, a bit of truth, a bit of people just need a little bit of truth sometimes, a bit of real talk. You know, some people really don't know what depression is, and some people really don't know what sadness is. It's a society that we're living in at the moment that I think, you know, well, it's thrown around too easy. Social media is thrown around too easy, and it puts a big stigma onto it. It puts a big stigma onto them people who are really, you know, really affected, the people who are getting bullied, the people who, you know, are not in control of what's happening to them, you know. We could talk all day about mental health, I think, and mental illness. I definitely could, because you could talk from all different areas, you know, but I'm just going to focus on what my experiences and my time and the society that I live in, and I think that's all I'm going to try to cover. Yeah. So I'm doing it in regards to I want to like a spin on it, as in how mental health really lies within us, right? And talk about my mental illness, which I briefly talked about on my. I talked about on my Instagram, on my things, when I first started talking about my mental illness, but I don't really go into it because I don't like to label things and make that as an issue. But I'll explain a little bit as I go in. So I got diagnosed with a mental illness. It's borderline, emotional unstable borderline disorder. Now that's how I got. That's created by being abused, abandoned, and neglected as a child. Your first 7 years of your life is where you get wired up. This is how I got explained to me, and it all made sense. And at the time, so this was about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I got diagnosed with this. Now at the time I ticked every box, you know, when I like, you know, go well then after it, like everything, the drugs, the gambling, the neediness, the breakup of relationships, the erratic lifestyle, everything that I was like, I ticked every box, and I could kind of go, right, yeah, that's me, and I understand it because of what happened in my childhood, you know. Now I'm going to go back to, so like I talk about my mother, talk about my family, but I try talking in a good light. It's a positive, not a negative, because back then mental health wasn't spoke about. I know I never heard of anything like called mental health. I know I never heard about what's come up in the last few years in regards to we all have mental health. I was quite new to it, you know, the educational side of it. So when sorry, I'll just have a drink of this. I've got a lot to say. So when where am I? Right. So when back in the day, like with my mother, she was an alcoholic. And my uncles were kind of the same. My dad left when I was 4, right? This is all I can ever remember. I've done it, all I can ever remember. This is the furthest back of whenever I can remember. And it was in the kitchen when my dad was leaving, right? And then you try to piece everything together as like, you think back and like, what went wrong? How am I like this? What was actually, you know, and then I remember being in care when I was 5 years old. Now, I remember being in care. I remember my mum tried taking an overdose. Or she did take an overdose, should I say. She had a few of us. My mum, I mean, back then, it was only me, my brother, and my sister. But my mum struggled with life. So all I ever remember is her struggling and crying in the kitchen, drinking wine, and then getting aggressive and screaming and crying, and then getting took away, and, you know, all of these things, and even getting like beaten, like I remember 8 years old beaten with an iron poker, like I brought scars on my knees. I'm like, what, you know, as a kid, that was normal. That's what we got trained with. That was normal to us to get like that. I remember when I was 6 years old, I got put in a hospital. So I kept putting my dad left when I was 4. Get putting into care, in and out of care. In all different places, because my mum would have another child, or we should have an overdose, or whatever it may be. She couldn't cope with us. So then I got put into a unit, because I used to soil myself at like a late age, like 5, 4, and like I got like proper outcasted, like I was strange. There was something wrong with me. That child's weird because he soils himself. Now, I got put into a unit in Leeds, and it was called the Canner unit, and it was where loads of children with special needs was there, with severe special needs. And I remember being in there, and these other children couldn't really talk or anything, but I got put in that unit now for months, like I was a patient, and I was 6 years old, man. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to think back now. It's like that freaking kid just needed attention and love, and not. I used to remember making stuff up that I was really poorly all the time. You know, because I always wondered about that. He always makes it up. I bet, looking back again, just wanted someone to really love me, man. Do you know what I mean?
Cry for help.
Yeah, I cry for help and just say the same for that. And then it just kept happening all the time. And I just like, I remember again, we went to, I was bullied in every single school because my mum couldn't settle in one place. So I went to about 10 different schools. I was very small, I had big goofy teeth, I didn't have a personality. I used to carry a bloody fossil box around with me and binoculars. You know, I don't like other kids, man. You know what I mean? I was strange. I didn't know who I was. Like, you know, and I had a name like Manwell, for God's sake, and faulty towers. You know, the waiter. So you can imagine, even the teachers bullied me. Do you know what I mean? It was like, give me a break, like, please. But I just got on with it, and it was just life to me, and like it was just difficult. So I went to about 10. Every time I'd be that one person, or I'd have that one friend who were a little bit strange as well. And Manny the fanny man smell, you know, I had it all. I fit a pound coin from it. It was just ridiculous. Couldn't even afford a bloody decent haircut. I'd always have them. You know, we never had much money. I'd had hand-downs from my brother. My mum did her absolute best. She had 6 children. She did her absolute best, but she didn't understand herself. She struggled in her own frigging life. It got to the point of where I'm going to get a little bit serious now. It got to the point where I'm like later teens, and I was a good kid. I was all about my mum, you know, all about my mum. But my mum just didn't realise what she was doing. I remember a time when she was beating me up with a shoe. You know, I was late for an appointment, and I fell on a bin bag full of glass, 23 stitches. Like, you know, it's just stuff like that. It was just crazy. And then it'd be my fault. It'd be my fault for, you know, everything would be my fault. And it was just, like, I'm bloody a kid. Well, she put me in care. Again, she put me in care, foster care. And I got put in care with 2 guys. And it was like, I was getting rejected every time, and I was never doing it wrong. I'd always try to look after my brothers and sisters. When I was 14, I had a paper round, two paper rounds, a milk round. I'd get up at 4 in the morning, and then I'd have 2 paper rounds just so I could earn 30 quid, so I could look after my brothers and sisters. Do you know what I mean? But then I'd fall asleep at school, and then still just get like, you know, I just rejected all the time, and got put into care. And I got put into care with these 2 guys, these 2 guys. It was a strange carry-on, but we ended up going to Morocco. I ended up getting sexually abused by these 2 men in foster care, and I never spoke to nobody about it. Never spoke to nobody about it whatsoever. I tried running away 3 times, and I kind of got groomed. I got manipulated into like, so if you tell anybody, this is what's going to happen, you know. And I'm like, what the, you know, I knew that I wasn't really, you know, an identity, but I knew this wasn't right, and it was so strange, and it were all like everything was my fault and in my power, and I'd have to pretend to be asleep, you know, and I never told anybody. And this only came out last year when I felt like if these were my children and they kept the secret in, you know, like, you know, it's about not caring about, just caring about what you think rather than what any other people think. So yeah, that was an hard one as well, you know. So difficult to have all of that in you by just not being, you know, your mom. You're not thinking your mom gives a fuck about you, you know, and no one cares about you, and everyone thinks you're frigging strange, do you know? And that's all I ever had in my life. So therefore, trying to have, so in an adult life, you've come away from that sort. And then again, I've come out of care. I've run out of care. I've gone to my I've gone back home. My mum's gone. You know, I can't have you here. You got to live with your uncle. Now my uncle, again, he was in and out of prison. He gave me a stutter. He was just a violent man. Got stabbed in the head. Got beaten if I didn't answer the door. He'd be waiting with an axe, or you know, I'd bite dogs' ears off. Try to get on my knees, call him king. I had to call him the king. Give me a stutter. You know, just constantly bullied. And that's when I was like 14. I mean, I didn't leave school. I didn't finish school. I had to go live there to teach me how to be a man. But I mean, my uncle was just very confused. You know, I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but it's just that's how they lived. That was his way of loving me. That was my mum's way of loving me. They really thought they loved me, and that's how they should treat somebody. The children, it wasn't just me. You know, it's like obviously it was a bit extreme with me. I ended up running away on the streets. I lived in Somerset in a car park. You know, just to get away. There was so. I mean, these events happened. It was just that was life. That was life. Want a good life, but that was my life. That's what it was everybody around me. That, you know, it kind of was. I'm probably a bit more extreme than others, you know. Unfortunate things, but that's how it was. I knew I was different back then. I knew I wasn't like that. I'd get forced to try to do something, or be violent, or to do this, or to do drugs, or to sell drugs, should I say. My uncle, I was getting fed drugs at 15 years old to stay up all night to go to work for days and days like that. It was the situations that I'd been put in when I was like younger. It's like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I probably can't talk about too much of it because it's crazy shit. But so when I come to be an adult, right? I'm trying to be an adult now and have children of my own, failed relationships. I just wanted to. People want these things in life to be at school, don't they? They've got ambitions and goals, and I want to be a car driver, I want to be this, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a police. I just wanted a normal life, whatever that was. I wanted a wife and 2 kids and a dog and a house. That was my dream. So I kind of fought all my life to get that, and then when I got it, I did not know what to fucking do with it. I was absolutely ridiculous. I was needy, I was manipulative, I was controlling, because I'm trying to have control as an adult now, because I don't have it. I never had it when I was a kid. I never knew that I was doing that. This is what my therapist said after, you know. But these are all the things what I was damaged, very damaged. I didn't have a clue. I was very, very damaged. I thought it was alright to talk to someone like a piece of shit, because as long as I wanted to eat them, it don't matter. You know, I'm used. That's what life is. That's what, you know. It don't matter, because I've been brought up like that's nothing compared to what I've been spoke to or what's happened to me. So that's you in that environment, and it's definitely not all right. You know, I'm totally messed up, and then it comes to having your children and in and out of your children's lives. You know, you think it's all right to go out and piss and stay out for 4 days, and you know, I just totally take the piss. You know, and when stuff were happening in my life, when it got too difficult with suicide, like, you know, my friend committed suicide, and, you know, my mother died, and, you know, my brother died, and my nephew died, and all these people dying and all like that. I don't know how to fucking deal with that. I have no idea how to deal with any of that, because I just don't. And then what do? I'm just a fucking mess, because my head's a mess, because I can't deal with any of it. I'm not like a normal fucking child. I wasn't brought up like that. So any of these situations, so can you imagine the car crash that I was just unbelievable. But because I never had any parent, I never had any role models. My dad wasn't there. My mum struggled with her own life. So I made it up, and I made a lot of fucking mistakes. I upset a lot of people's lives, you know, my partners, my girlfriends, you know, people who loved me. I pushed them away because I didn't like myself, because I didn't know what the frig I was, you know, and I got diagnosed with this mental illness. But then I'm like, right, I know what it is now. I know this is why it is. But then I kind of made an excuse then. I've got a mental illness. It's fine. This is why I did that. This is why I did that. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Not my fault. Not my fault. It was easy for me to say that. And then I learned. You just like a load of shit. You know, so I carry on drinking and start doing whatever else, and then I got that sepsis last year, and it was like I had a long. You know, I believe the mental health with everything. What the main thing is to be honest with yourself. And I find so many people can't do that. It's difficult for people, and I know I couldn't do that. But as soon as I was honest with myself, I was like, that's when my world changed. That's when I changed. right, I stopped using mental illness as an excuse. I stopped even frigging, I can identify with people and relate to people because I understand it. But I know that if I didn't drink, if I didn't take drugs, if I didn't do these things, if I took my way out of environments, if I started taking that a positive habit and doing something else, if I started getting help for what I was doing, if I started understanding it and educating myself, I understand it, then I could do something about it. And that's what I started to do. And that's when my life started to change. I educated myself. There's no frigging education there. People just, you get tarnished, and it's, you put the word mental with everything now. You can't get through to some people. Like, listen, it's mental health. It's like, all right, positive mental attitude. That's all right to say, innit? Because it's got a positive in it, right? Innit? Yeah. But you say you're mental. That's negative. Yeah. So mental health, that's negative to most people. That's negative. I ain't got mental health. I don't know how many times to say it, but like, mental health's a positive state of well-being, man. You've got to look after it. Yeah. But people just don't get it. People don't get the difference between a mental illness and mental illness is generally not your frigging fault. And I understand that, but I understand mental health's a lot to do with us. How we act and stuff like that. Yeah, we can't. You can't stop things that happen. It was like people dying or breakups sometimes, and so many things, which it's going to affect us. Yeah, it's going to affect us, but it's not what happens. It's how we deal with it. That's the difference. How we deal with it. That's and the people around us as well, and ourselves. If we don't deal with it, or if we abuse ourselves by not dealing with it, or masking it, or whatever else, it's never going to go anywhere. And that's the thing where, if I didn't identify at that point, my daughter would have ended up with trauma. She was seeing a counsellor when I was very young, because she didn't know when I was in and out of her life. She never saw me drink in front of her. She never seen any of that. But when I wasn't with them, my mind was gone. I was having these bad relationships. I was drinking. I was taking drugs, and I lied to myself. It's all right, because I've never done that when I'm with my kids. But when I've got my kids, I'm in another world. I'm not paying attention to them. I'm paying attention to God knows what. Do you know what? And that's not fair to my children. They're seeing things that they shouldn't really see. And then not in their lives because I can't control my actions, or with their mother, or because of it's all about me. Then I'm affecting them, and they don't know if I'm in and out of their lives. So I've missed out my youngest a lot of their lives, and my daughter's lives, and that feeling. I'm creating a trauma in their life. And if I'd have carried on, what would have happened when they get to teenagers or to adults? Would they be like me because they didn't have someone in their lives, because they needed? Would they get a mental illness because of that trauma, because that person wasn't in there? They probably didn't feel loved by the dad, or they just saw that. Do you know what I mean? And it just carries on. And did they get in a dodgy relationship? Did they, are they going to not able to have a job or hold a job or not know who they are? That's where it carries on. And I know so many people, siblings and everything, that's carried on, and it carries on. And so initially, mental health lies within us. If we do not deal with it, that's where the epidemic is. But they've got an excuse. All right, they've got an excuse back in the day, because no one talked about it. Everybody lived like that. Right, that's what they lived like. They were back in war. People say, well, they didn't do that in war, and they were going through hell. Right, then people didn't come home. Some people, then men didn't come home. It was a man's world. Women got knocked about. Kids didn't see the challenges. The man stayed out in the pub all the time, and there was so many. It's completely different worlds. Now, skip a generation. This generation's fucked, aren't they? Because it wasn't like that now. There's a reason. Look at it now. Why we're all fucked. Is it a reason? Because back then, men wasn't around. It was completely a different story back then. So that was like we were supposed to live like that. But as it comes around, we're all fucked in this generation now, aren't we? Everyone's fucked. There's a reason why, isn't there? There's a lot of reasons, but there's culture, there's things, and initially, it all lies within us. That's there's some things that can't be helped, but I'm a prodigy of, I've had shit happen to me. I've blamed the world. I've done this. I've done that. And as soon as I started looking at myself and being honest with myself, that's when my life changed. And I was the best version of myself. And I educated myself. And I started doing things positive rather than negative, and take myself out of the negative. You put yourself around negative shit, you're going to be negative. You call it a mental illness, you're going to be mental. It's like going to an AA meeting. I like this analogy. It's like you go to an AA meeting and you go, right, yeah, I'm Manwell, I'm an alcoholic. You're an alcoholic. You're not. That's who you are. I'm unwell and I'm here to change my life and I'm going to be better. That's that's my mentality towards things. I don't put a label on things or try not to. I used to always throw the mental illness around and mental health around, but that's just to relate to people. So yeah, that's my basic message is in regards to, if we don't start dealing with mental health or acting responsibly in front of us children, or be happy or try to be at least happy within ourselves, how the hell are we it's a really good thing, this, they say you can't be happy if you're not happy in yourself. It's very true. How are you supposed to be happy in a relationship? How are your kids going to be happy if you're unhappy? Everybody picks up on that vibe. You're going to get that vibe, and if you're not happy, or you're not there, or you're drinking, or you're doing whatever you're doing, initially it's not going to end well for where your relationships, for your children, and it just carries on. So initially, deal with your mental health, deal with your your physical health, your mental illness, whatever it may be. What we're not dealing with, it needs. I always say this analogy. I love it because people relate to it. If you have a problem, so there's a washing up that plate. You'll say, I've done it so many times. That's why I love it. It's like, I'll do it in a bit. I'll wash it up in a bit, and then before you know it, you've got a big pile of washing up in sink, and you're like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to do it. I'm like, you call Bert, Mrs. in. Do you know what? You want someone else to wash him up. You can't, because it's your mental side of it now. You built up where you don't want it because it's all built up. It's like just day-to-day life. If we don't fucking deal with it, it's not going to go anywhere. It's like drinking. If we drink for the right reasons, don't drink for the wrong reasons. If you try to, I get, grief, cry, get upset. That's what you're supposed to do. It's that you're allowed to miss somebody. You're allowed to be upset about something. It's called grieving. People need educating. They don't understand that people get upset. You need a high, you need a low to a high, a high to a low. It's it's the circle of life. We can't just go like that, because what people are doing is going like that and then down there, and they can't deal with it because they're going up and then straight down instead of going, right, this is how we're doing it. Instead of going you can't go straight through life like that. That's amazing. Life is amazing. It's not going to take the rough but smooth and stuff. That's kind of my message. So
on that, Manny, when and how, what point did you decide that, okay, I'm going to make a change and I'm going to start looking into myself, and with getting diagnosed and starting to put those little steps for help in the way? How did you go about that?
I think I always knew that I wanted to change. I always knew that I was wanting to do these things. I always knew that I loved making people smile, if it were in pub or whatever, or making a dick of myself. I just got a buzz out making someone smile, or making, helping someone across road, or someone a little bit less fortunate. I hated bullies. I'd always try to befriend somebody who was, a bit less fortunate maybe, and I get really upset about it. And I'd be like, so it was always there in me. And then I think once I originally sorted myself out, I knew I had to sort myself out all the time. I knew that I had to sort myself out, and I just couldn't, because I knew it's like what I wanted to do, but I just needed. I was like a bit of a hypocrite, because I give loads of good advice, and I've been just taking piss, I've been drinking and doing whatever, having shitty relationships, and not, and struggling with my own life, just lying about what I was really feeling. Do you know what I mean? And I think once I initially sorted all of that out, once I initially was peace within myself, once I initially, I remember getting diagnosed, and then I had therapy, and then I had them light bulb moments, and it was like, wow, now I understand it. There was so many points to it, and then there were a point when I did my back, and I was like, do you know what? I can't help what's happened to me. It's just a bad card. It's just a card deal. Not a great one. But all of these, there was a pattern. There was a pattern all the time. It was me. Just I would dealt with shit, and I didn't because I wasn't dealing with shit, and it just ended up tits up all the time. So once I initially got that sorted, once I did all the bloody modelling thing, and that were all just a load of bullshit. I just decided I wanted to use my social media as a positive thing. I just thought, I was at a crossroads in my life. I could be a model, I could go into TV shows, I was going to do this, or I'd do something what I really wanted to do. So I took a big gamble. I was just, right, I'm going to be I'm going to just be myself. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I was just going to be myself. I hello, I'm Manwell, and I've got a mental illness kind of a thing, and I've got no teeth there, and I'm receding there, and I feel like shit sometimes, and that life's a load of shit, you know. So and then it kind of like, oh, I feel like this, and I feel like that, you know, and then someone else, and I'm like, you know, I've got a lot. You can't buy 39 years of just bullshit fucking life. And I've got a lot to fucking say, but I've come out the other end where I shouldn't have come out at so many different times, you know. But I'm here, and I thought I can help people. I've got a story to tell, and I can tell them. I can tell people and help people through where I went wrong. Now I'm back. I'm out of this side. I had to make a decision to stop drinking and smoking and drugs, everything like that. And then once I did that, I was in peace. I was in peace with myself then, and then that's where like, I'm going to do this, and then I got that little buzz off helping somebody else, and I got that buzz of then someone like coming to me and then going, I thought you were alright, I didn't know that you'd suffer from like this, and, you know, and it, like, it just like, wow, I could help somebody, I could help so many people here, because people just don't know, have a clue, do they? And then obviously with the steps, and then getting people through them steps, and that steps were just, it's just a miracle place, you know, changing your mindset, setting a goal, challenging yourself, achieving it, and support. It's just like, it gives so much power to a person, you know, who's struggling. And if someone else is struggling, you've got someone else there, and then someone else there who's pushing you and understands, you know, what you're going to get out of getting up them top of them stairs, no matter what. And every single person gets up top of them. So create that community of people helping people, and then people helping other people now who's got to that point who feel great enough. And they're helping people, and other people are helping people. It's a snowball effect, and people are blogging now, and you know, you're creating that, you're giving power to people, you're just showing people what they don't know that they've got. And all of these just from my life experiences, because I can relate to them, because I've been there or not been there, you know, I've been in more situations what people went, do you know what, I understand that, you know. It's a little bit like Peter Kay, and Peter Kay's, that funny, right, because people relate, you laugh at the same things, wouldn't you, you go, fucking yeah, I've been there, I know, yeah, I know where it is, yeah. It's a little bit like me, we're relating to people, it's like, it's fucking, yeah, I've been there, I understand that, I was there last week, or that happened to me as a child, or there, you relate to him. If you relate to somebody, they understand, and they want to like, well, if it works for him, it might work for me, and you're just showing them a different way, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we've created with the steps. Now we've got them all over the country, and I created this 8-week program, which I'll talk about as well. So, I mean, I've been working on the 8-week program for such a long time, but it's always been there, and because there's not been like that, this 8-week program in my head. So these people who come to the steps, but they may need that little bit extra. It's a good end to a bad week and a good start to a new week, but then they struggle in the week. They might try committing suicide, or you know, they've been in a situation where I've been and taking drugs and not really dealing with life, or they may have lost somebody very recently, or you know, just wanting a better life, or just generally depressed and have anxiety and not dealt with shit in the past, or whatever it may be. People just need that little bit of extra help, or they might not have somebody there else, you know, to support. So I mean, this is kind of comes off my life really, of where it changed for me. So I created a program, and it's an 8-week program, and it consists of 8 weeks of therapy. So 8 weeks of therapy dealing with trauma, dealing with grief, giving you significance and certainty, you know, giving you the 6 needs that people need in life to make decisions, that self-worth, what we don't have, that confidence, but initially dealing with that thing to enable us to move forward in life, because we don't ever deal with that, it's always going to drag you back. No matter what, it's always going to be in there, and it'll always bring you back no matter where you are in life. If you can go 5 years, 10 years, it'll bring you back, it'll get you there, because it'll always niggle. You'll never able to just proceed in life if that's not dealt with in whatever way it is, and whatever problem it is. If like mine abused in care, all the deaths, I had a million guilts. Guilty because I wasn't there maybe when my granddad died. I fell asleep or whatever it may be, but guilt and unwanted emotion, you know, all these things, it's pointless, you can't do anything about it. It's about what we do now, what we do today, moving forward. But people get stuck in that, people get stuck in the past. We wake up in the morning just to like initially thinking of the past. We create a habit thinking of the past, you know, and that always takes us back. So this program is creating a new habit, thinking forward, thinking of today, not thinking of the past. Meditation from the therapist as soon as you wake up, and exercise we've got 8 weeks therapy, 8 weeks gym, 8 weeks nutrition, 8 weeks mental health awareness. So it's workshops of anxiety, depression, suicide, which...
it just looks like you're swearing at Julie now. Sorry.
Sorry.
So childish.
I know, you was very childish.
I'm going to...
So I did the mental health first aid course, is looking after your mental health and looking after others. So I put that in the programme. Put that so you're aware of other people. You know how to look. You can identify. People sometimes don't know what depression is or anxiety. We all have anxiety. Everybody has anxiety. Some are different levels. Some are persistent anxiety. Some are caused in regards to something from your past, your childhood. Some things maybe anxiety is caused self-inflicting yourself, self-harm. With other things. It's all of these things. What you're going to deal with the therapist. You're going to deal with the groups. So it's a one-on-one with the therapist. You're going to get, and then you've got that bit there, and then you've got the physical side of it. How to feel good. Them chemicals work. The basics of cardio and how that makes you feel and everything else. Nutrition, what makes you, the food, what we're eating, how to, all of these, the pyramids of nutrition and all of these put in a program. And then we've got another workshop which is follows from the therapist, because these groups have been working with the therapist, to self-esteem, goals. And then we've got the job centre coming in and the college coming in at week 6. Now you've dealt with this shit. You've dealt with that shit. Moving forward, you're feeling good. You want, And then you might be in a shitty job. You might be in a shitty relationship. What you just go around in circles and be unhappy about. But then you've got the college coming in. Who, you might have different opportunities to go do a night course. You can do this. You can do that. Or universal credit. Or all of these things. A bit more understanding. Citizens' advice. You might be you struggle with finances. I know that people struggle so much with their mental health. The finances put themselves so much under pressure managing it. They come and do talks and management plans for your finances and cope. These should be single parents who have got caught and don't know how to deal with it. All the real advice, all the things, them coming in. So you've got therapists, gym, nutrition, mental health, these other groups. You've got the job centre, you've got the citizens' advice, you've got the college, all in on this 8-week programme for 6 hours a week. So you're going to be doing it an hour at tea time. You might be doing an hour's therapy. You've got 8 sessions of therapy, 8 sessions of that, 8 sessions of this. But it's only in 8 weeks, 5 days a week for an hour. So and what's that doing? It's giving you the tools to look after your mental health, the tools to understand yourself, the tools to when a problem does come up, you can handle it, you can deal with it, and initially giving you some purpose in life. That's what you can look back now. That what the course does a little bit like all my life, all the fuck ups what I've done, but it's giving you that there, And everybody's different, and the course is designed for everybody different because you've got a personal thing with there, but the groups in regards to getting but it's initially getting you active. But you'll get referred to us, right? So you can imagine the demand what it's going to be, but you'll get referred to us because we've got Scamden Steps, we've got the canal walk, we've got the moor walk, we've got the swimming, we've got the yoga, we've got the morning walks. There's a thing, or you've got the hubs, what the master where you can just come and talk, right? So you've got all different options, what we do all week, right? Already you get put to us, then you are in a community then of positiveness, people already, but you're active, you're out and active, and then you've got a committee of a doctor. We've also got a doctor on the board. You've met Dr. Andre as well, haven't you? Yeah. So he does a medical check and he's there for a while with it all as well. So we've got a doctor, we've got a therapist, we've got the gym owners, we've got all of these people as a council now, who should come on this program, because there might be people who might just need to get out and just to do something. You'll get referred instead of just getting that antidepressant. They say that's a quick fix. It's a load of shit because there's no end solution. That's the thing. They say it's a quick fix, but it's not, is it? It's 8 weeks before that's going to start kicking in. Week 1, you're going to start dealing with your shit. You're going to start dealing with it, and you're going to be, mentally and physically. So you're going to get all of these tools in it. So that's what that program's designed for. So you can imagine it's just going to go. I'm excited for it because other people who come onto it, we had a final meeting, you get a journal at the beginning of it, you've got audio from the therapist, you've got the exercise from the gym, just where when you wake up 5 minutes, you're creating a new habit. Before you go to bed, the same. When you get up in the morning, you're creating a new habit. You're doing this every single day for 7 days a week for 8 weeks. So you're creating that new habit instead of the old habit, the negative shit. And then you've got all these tools and this education, this dealing with trauma, this fitness, all of that, just in an 8-week program. What you're going to do, you're going to turn out positive. people. So you're going to turn up soldiers, little Manwellness all over the shop, like
So is this program live now? Is this out?
It's out now, yeah. Well, it's out when this is out, yeah. So
and how are people?
So this is good. This is a trial. What's on? We want to get it right. It's got 5 men, 5 women, and we've got obviously the full backing of the relevant people. So I want to get it there. So we want it to go out in January. When it goes out in January, so initially it'll be from your GPs, or you come join Get Fit. And you go on Hello. You want to come on this program?
Every podcast, man.
And then or referrals from the job centre as well. You know, it's. But that's the game changer. That's where we are going to change so many lives. And again, from when I started it, there's 2 types of people. You want to change, you want to be happy, or you don't want to be. This is going to defer the people who actually want to be happy, because it's going to give you, you've got to be committed. You can't, like I say, you've got to come to these walks or these runs or these talks or this swim, because you've got to show commitment that you're actually going to stick to this 8-week program. Because how many people would want that given to him? You're taking back all your habits. You're basically beginning a new a lifeline there, aren't you? You know, with this program. So I'm proper excited about it. I'm really excited. It's just all come in the making now. So get ready January.
No, I'll be excited to see that,
man. Do you know what? It's sick because at least you can. Only so many people can go do them steps within reason, right?
Yeah.
You can go and help, tenfold that amount from everything. So
you can. I mean, it's just this, like I say, from the steps, it's just that extra. But there's no excuse for anything. You can talk, right, or you can have a one-on-one. The people who suffer from anxiety, there's people with depression. I get that. You can have these one-on-one groups. There's gym buddying. There's this. But it's just getting everybody active. The point is getting everybody out and active, and they're not alone. And then also showing them that, and then giving them the tools, and it's just giving people a little knock, a little bit of education, who want it. There's no point in giving it to someone who don't care about themselves. It's for them people who you've got to that point where they just need that little bit of help, and we've got that. I know how to do it. I've got the tools, I've got the people around now. So big time changes, yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's so sick. We were saying before we turned the mics on, like how much you've just you're following your message, the growth of everything you're doing, setting up the charity has just gone like to another level. Like I thought, I feel like I've known you a couple of years, but
it's crazy,
I've not even known you a year, and it's just gone nuts.
It's crazy.
Since you and Ryan were in, and Ryan's a perfect example of someone that's come, changed, and now he's helping other people.
He's amazing.
It's a sick fucking.
Every day, every single day, he just does what he does every day.
Puts that shit on the Insta every day.
Man. He's accountable for what he's doing.
He keeps himself accountable. Exactly. Yeah.
He's amazing, man.
It's so good. So good. So you came on the podcast last time and you said you were going to be doing some. You're going to be doing some work with some big names.
Yeah. Big
stars. And a lot of people say a lot of stuff sometimes, and it never fucking happens.
I know. Yeah.
But take it away, man.
I like to think that I like to think that I always say that what I'm going to do. I think I follow the law of attraction and believe in what I do, and I'm grateful for everything that I do. And I said, what did I say? I said I was going to be with doing something with Eddie Hall and Arnold. I didn't say it. I said Hollywood stars.
I told you before
you went in. I said Arnold Schwarzenegger, didn't I? And I've only just been chilling with Arnold for the last 2 weeks and that. But Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the boys. I'm mad in it. I did an event, an experience with an amazing events company, an international event. They followed what I did. I mean, when I spoke to you, I just got a phone call once saying, "Oh yeah, I love what you do, and we'll have to meet up." And that was just me. That was basically him saying, "Yeah, you're going to meet Anna, you're going to do this." But it were mad, and it just followed me, and it backed me, and it just put me into another level. So he wants to show me off to what I'm doing, to get awareness, to help more people. He's like so much like me, but even he's just a genius. But he's got connections in regards to obviously the UK rights to Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and many other Hollywood superstars, which I now know. And then first event, Sylvester Stallone. I went just sat with him in a signing, and he's telling me all his story, and we're talking mental health, we're talking about Rambo and his PTSD, and he just won't show up, to be fair. He was just going on, like, I haven't got a whole day, like, do you know what? But I'll be honest, they said, what would you do if you, like, met him? And I was like, yeah, I'd say, alright, Stallone, alright. Like, but, you know, I didn't really know what to call him anyway, but when I did, I was like, I wasn't really expecting to see him. And then I just got like, Manuel, here, come quick. And I was like, right. And then it was just there in front of me. I went, all right, let's start Stallone. Like that. And then it would just sound would walk round, and he would just telling all these stories about Arnie, telling all these stories about how these sayings would come about, or Robert De Niro, and you know, you'd never. I mean, spend an hour like that, and then overtime, and then I was in green room with Eddie Orr. We're talking like Expended. We're talking movies. We were the movie producer. I'm just chilling, like, yeah, I'm best mates, man. You know, I tried acting cool. I was cool, to be fair, because I didn't ask for any selfies. You know, well, I did for Stallone. My mate were going, just get in with him. I'm going, no, it's fine. I don't want to do. But yeah, back to what we do. Forget Fit for Mental Wellness. Loved it, which is amazing, innit? It's absolutely amazing. Did 3 events with him, and then week after went Arnie, but Arnie I didn't really know what we're going to expect with Arnie, but I was telling you guys, wasn't I? So he'd flown in, and I picked Bob Lorimer, which is Arnie's business partner up from, and I've got a good relationship with him now because we've got some stuff going on there. Arnold Classic, not saying no too much. And I picked him up, and then we sat outside, me and Bob in Wales, that were down in Cardiff, and me and Bob were there, and I think he'd just flown in, did Arnie. And I just come outside, we sat outside, and Arnie's just walking towards us. And I was watching him, like, him and 2 things, and I like looked up, I was like, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, like that. And he was like, hey, pull up a table. I was like, okay, Arnie. I went, pull the table. And I'm like, I'm well, like, how you doing? I'm like, just play it cool. I'm in my head, I'm talking to myself. Just play it cool, man. Play it cool. I'm really, really talking in my head to like, just like, it'll be alright. And then he starts talking to me, and he threw me a cigar. And I smoked. So what did I say? I went, I don't smoke, me, Arnie. And I was like, I turned around and went, why would I say that? Why would I say that? And I went, yeah, but I will do, seeing as it's you. And they went, do you know how to smoke it? And I went, yeah, smoke these. And he would cut my finger off the guitar. And I'm going, like that, and I'm watching how he's doing it. We're all sat there, just like we're sat here now. I'm going like that, try to smoke it cool and that. And I'm getting my phone up, and I'm thinking it's freaking Arnie. And then, some conversation. We were just there for 2 hours chatting and talking politics, talking things. Anyway, just a funny guy, sarcastic guy, funny guy though. Like I was just his mate, best mate. And then did 2 events, and then I flew out over to Barcelona then with him. I picked up with in a Merc when I got to airport.
Was that part of the plan, or did that just happen?
No, that just happened. It got last minute after kind of thing, right? You got to Barcelona, you meet, and then I didn't know we were going to be like with Arnie, just with Arnie and a few others, like the president of the Classic. And I'm there, got my VIP badge, and they were like, you just think you're just going to get an entrance, don't you? And I'm like there with Arnie's there, sat there thinking, not again, God off my head, play it cool. And then, so I was dying to get a selfie, but I didn't, you know what I mean? Because I thought I'm going to see him again, and then I've spent another 3 days with him, just in background, and just, yes, that man, he's a very professional businessman as well, but in awe, really, very in awe. But again, backing the One Night Charity, all of these places that they call a Classic all around the world, they just love the concept of it. Goes well with when Arnie's talking and when he's doing these dinners. It's what we do as a charity, you know. It's kind of like, you know, believing in yourself and you know, your body achieves what your mind believes. You know, everyone sees that as a physical side, what they do, but the mental side of it, it's just coming apparent, innit? And you know, him and Stallone, I've talked with them. I mean, Stallone's son died, so he committed suicide, and it's so relatable. And these guys, you know, all right, Arnie's probably hasn't, you know, suffered a mental illness, but he's been down and he's fought from adversity, and you know, that's what it's about. It's just, you know, believing in something and achieving some things, you know. When people say you can't do it, you know, you can, and that's where I related to him a lot. But yeah, so many other things coming. It's just crazy Hollywood. But like I said it earlier on, I could meet them stars. I was over there on Sunday, and I was missing the steps with a massive turnout. But I miss it. That's my thing. That's my feel good thing. I know when I haven't done it, you know, getting, you know, that guy who come from Scotland, the guy who came from Scotland who struggled, it was on my Instagram if anyone hasn't seen it, and he come all the way from Scotland and come out of his bedroom for 2 years really, and you know, overweight and struggle on 20 frigging steps. So I seen him collapsing on 20 steps, and I thought, oh, we're gonna have something on his hands here. But he didn't give up, put him through it, he didn't give up, and he got to like 460, 70 steps. And he was going, I can't do it. I mean, you can swore at me a few times, you know, as a lot of people do on them steps. And I just said, you know, are you hurting? Is it just what? You breathing or? He goes, it's not that. It's my legs. You know, I'm tired. I went, well, you got this. I mean, when you get up there, get up off your ass now. Get up. You've just done 460 steps. Get up there and show what you've just done. You were going to give up on 20, you've just done all of this. I went, be proud of what you've just done there. And you just go up and rah, and then did it and got there. I'm like, again, another amazing moment. I just have them every week with people there. And that's the feeling you get. You can't buy that. You can't get, I mean, yes, you can't buy what having that time of Arnie or Salon. You just can't. I'm blessed. I'm not, you know, I am very lucky. But I know what makes me really happy, and that's helping. And this program's going to make me happy. Them steps make me happy. Arnie alone is getting that awareness out there. If they're saying it's great, they're great. That's brilliant. And if that's going to get go out to millions of people, that's brilliant. You know, and say it's just saying it's all right. Mental health, it's all right. Everything's all right. You know what we're doing. You know, it's all right to struggle. You know, it's about coming. It's giving a message as well. You know, from them people. So it's just extra. It's icing on cake. And again, it's only been a year, and it's not even been a year. And look what we've done on my own. What have I done? What I'm going to do with the backing now of an experience with, what am I doing with the backing of these superstars. I've got Mel Gibson in 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, Mel Gibson, so got another one, and so all the for next year, crazy. The things what we're going to be doing, there's so many big things with so many influential people, you know, and many messages to come out, so many good things what we're going to do, so many more groups we're going to open around the country. It's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and I want to work with, every day I learn off somebody, you know, I learn off people, I always do, I grow off people, but I like to get as much knowledge as I possibly can. You know, I've been a bit, this week I've been a bit not me, because I've had struggles with my knees, I've had struggles with my arm, I've been put off with all the travelling I've been doing. So normally I meditate and I'm exercising or run or a gym, and I haven't been doing that. But again, I've learned, do you know what? It's telling me to concentrate on me. I'm not working properly, get myself fixed, be kind to myself. I'm not going anywhere. I'll come back stronger next week. I'll start training, get myself fixed. You know, so there's little messages to myself and little learning that I'm always doing. You know, I always try to evaluate. No one's perfect. No one knows everything. And I'm always willing to learn. And I think as long as everybody does that, you know, you're going to go far. Never be comfortable in who you are. So I'm all right now, and that's it. I think because it's not the way of life. Life moves forward. People move forward. And I think that's what we all should do, and as soon as we know that, it makes the world a better place. It keeps us all moving, and keeps us all learning, and keeps us all happy, you know, and keeps in good relationships, you know, and with everybody, you know. So yeah, I don't stop talking every time. I leave you like that. You go, well,
you're like the perfect guest, mate, because we always say like, there's little as we talk, the better. You know, we're fucking boring, mate. So we want you boys to come on and share that stuff. But it's sick to watch. It's amazing to be like a small part of it. It was nice when we came to this.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. I love you. I love the people I connect with all the time. Like you guys, I get that. I have a facial today, but the people who watch you from the beginning, who like, do you know what? You need a bit of time out. Come and do this. We'll do that for you. Cryo, Deb's at Cryo. So like, you know, let me come and look after you. Come here, you know, have these therapists, do this, do that. They just see you working really hard, and they want to part, and they want to do something. And you meet people like you guys, you get good messages out to people, you get good guests on, talking about real shit. And I love your stuff, you know, and hopefully it's going to go out to a bigger platform. That's the thing, is we are doing things, you know, and if more people could see it, the more people would help, the more people would open eyes or ears, you know, if we just got to a bigger audience, or if we work together. And it helps. It makes a bigger picture, and you feel comfortable. We like you become like family. Like Deb's today, like the Cryo, and when I go to Becky at the Reversal Aesthetics, like all these things. Like, you know, like Luke Campbell, like the guys at Unmasked. You know, all these people, you're building like a family, you know, an experience with all of them family, all of them crew there. Stephen's like just such an amazing person. He gives me strength, you know, which gives other people strength. And all the people at the steps, you've seen all them people at the steps, they're like a massive family, massive family from all over the place, and they bring me light, and them steps won't be the same, you know, everybody makes it different because everyone's got their own little bit, everyone's got their own story, everyone's got a different story, and you think, obviously, I've got the story, right, but someone's stories out there worse, less, don't really matter, it's all the same story, it still affects them, and that's why they're still there to come and improve and to help somebody else and relate to somebody else, and it all works out and everyone can relate to somebody in one way, and we all just like, there's no one higher than anybody else, there's no bosses, you just down there on that open playing field. Yeah, I might be a bit gobby and I might push you a little bit more, but that's me, you know. You need that little bit there, you might need someone, the mother to calm, you know, there's just little personalities and little bit of different backgrounds which all make one super group, and you guys included, you know, what you's bringing stuff to these podcasts or whoever else is involved with us, you know, like Neil as well, Kobe's. I remember when I first started out with him, I had a phone call and God, he was ruthless, you know what I mean, he didn't agree with some of the stuff when I first started. I think he's kind of got his head on now, because I learn every day, I still learn, and put it all together, and I try to educate myself, and if you don't, but it's brilliant having different opinions and you learn off them, and do you know what, I can take something from that, I can take something from you, I can take something from you, I'll take something from you, and you feed in all the good stuff. You know, you don't feed in, because you're not surrounding yourself with dickheads or positive, negative people. Yeah. You only surround yourself with good people. So you're just feeding and learning, and always like, you're never better than anybody else. So that's what's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant about having you guys, and I'll always be on. I'm coming back on art.
Boom, that's it.
Yeah, do you know what? It's nice little fucking link. Yeah. So good. So yeah, 26th of January at King Kobe Leeds. Tickets are on sale now. Special guest Manuel. By the time this goes out, everyone's going to know the other guest.
Yeah.
Hosted by Luke Ambler. We're going to have Jodie Hill on there and Neil Smedley from King Kobe. Live audience podcast.
Do you know what?
Only 50 tickets.
Yeah, it's going to go off, is that? And I've seen I saw it today, the tickets and what you get with the platinum. You get some good stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, a little prayer session with crowd. Shout out to Sarah. And a session with Elite Step, and Luke Ambler's been kind enough to offer every single person that buys a ticket
wants to get them books
out,
They're
sat in his garage or something.
I love him, yeah. They're good, them BJ also. They're good. They are really good there. You know, he's just got, like I said, that's just getting them out as well, getting them out to people as well. I watched Luke on your last show, and I mean, I learned a lot of Luke when I first started in regards to it, you know, but like I said, you feed off people, you get your own version of you, and you know, mine's life experience, mine's just live that life, and the education side of it you get of people, like, you know, and that's what I did, but like, you know, well, Luke is, I watched that show, what he did, and I was just like, yeah, bang on, it's real talk, innit, watch it with Neil, bang on, you watch it with people, if it makes sense, it's logical. Some people might not agree, some people probably don't agree with a lot of things, but that's my story, that's true, it's what I think, that's all that matters, and if other people agree, then that's fine, you know, and if they don't, well, that's fine as well.
Yeah, that's what I fucking rate about you the most. Just how fucking real you are, man. You always, as soon as you walk in the door, having a coffee, turn the mics on, it's the fucking same. No change, no change. We had to drag you up here. You told us nearly this whole podcast in the kitchen. It's like, Manny, come on.
Save it. Okay,
there's mics upstairs, I promise.
We need this.
So, we've said it once, said it a million times. If people want to reach out to you, where do they go?
They go to Instagram, Manwellness. Brilliant name. And that was one of my genius moments, of Manwellness on Instagram. Or Get Fit for Mental Wellness on Instagram, that's our charity page, or Get Fit for Mental Wellness on Facebook, and on Twitter as well, Get Fit for Mental Wellness. And I need to start doing my own brand, Manwellness. I'm going to start doing that. And YouTube, Get Fit for Mental Wellness. There's a lot of blogs on there, not been updated for a bit, but basically Instagram, Manwellness, and Facebook, Get Fit for Mental Wellness. anyone wants to come to join any of the groups, there's a community group on Facebook there where people come and share their stories and put some positive stuff on, and you're in a community around 300-400 people. It's got to now where it's accepted to be just to be you and doing good things and coming to our groups. It's brilliant. You're getting people I share a story, then you get someone else sharing their story, get someone else sharing it, and it liberates people because it got it out. Honestly, things change every day. Things get better every day. It's never a dull moment. It's always summer every day, every week. Well, there always is. We're going to be with me, isn't there? So,
boom.
Right, man. That's part 3 in the bag.
Thanks again, Manny.
Thanks for your support, as everyone.